Hi, this is Lori Moilov with the Limitless podcast, and I have a special guest I'm very excited about. Her name is Phoenix, a good friend of mine. She's from San Diego and is just a true inspiration. Her story starts from being torn from her family, placed in foster care, surviving rape, abuse, life-threatening, um, life-threatening condition with brain surgery. And now Phoenix has found her way of turning these trials and tribulations into her triumph. And I'm just so excited to interview Phoenix today and talk all about creativity because she has just been such a powerful voice in the community. Every community she touches, she waves her creative wand. And it's just an honor to be with a good, great friend of mine and to talk about creativity. One of the amazing books that you definitely have to read is one of Phoenix's books called Redefining Strong. And Phoenix, can you tell us a little bit about that and that story and the process of being an author and writing?
Well, Redefining Strong is a journey to finding yourself, true healing, and spiritual recalibration. I wrote this a couple of years ago because I just been through a lot of shit. Can we cuss on your podcast?
Yeah, it's limitless. So you don't have to worry.
Okay. Okay. Um, it was just after going through so much stuff, I used my story in order to help liberate other people. So by using my trials and situations that I've been through, it was a way for me to show other people how to get through theirs by using myself as an example. So that's pretty much what I did. And I created tools and worksheets and I call them like soul sheets where people can ask themselves questions and they can fill out things, all the way from how to love yourself, like simple stuff,
Yeah, wow.
like, what are your core desired feelings? Like what makes you happy? Like just different things in there where it prompts. It's like a Socratic approach to,
Mhm.
so like just learning more about yourself, and knowing
Yeah.
what you want.
And do you feel that like that kind of taps into creativity, being that we're all about limitless creativity? Do you feel like having those experiences kind of has tapped into your creativity? Because I consider you definitely a creative. Like I just see you as a powerful force in creativity. So
Thank you. Okay. So when it comes to creativity, I'm big on just do everything that you think about, do everything that you dream about, innovative. Like, so I'm all into creating whatever it is that you want for your life. And I say, try everything, do
mhm.
everything that you want to do, be exactly who you want to be, try whatever you want to try, because you only get one life, in essence, unless you come back in a past life or something in a future life. But
Yeah.
um, but in this life, have as many experiences as you possibly can. And so with me having brain surgery, I remember having a moment where I was like, oh shit, I'm not going to be able to create the way I used to, because that's what the
Yeah.
doctors told me. They were like, there's high possibility you won't be able to put things together. And
Yeah.
my whole life was being able to write and think and create and like come up with beautiful ideas. And that was being threatened. So that was the one thing that made me very scared, because
Mhm.
I wouldn't have wanted to live without being able to create.
Yeah.
Like if I had to live my life and I couldn't come up with any creative idea, I would be I wouldn't want to be here. I'd be miserable.
Yeah, I
You
feel
know?
I think like everyone, I have a belief that everyone is a creator and a creative in their own right. And at some point and at some verge, there's maybe a teacher or someone who's telling them they're not creative. And then that kind of limits the boundaries that, like, just like you said, we can go, you can try anything, do anything because we only, right? We only got one life. So you better just go
Right.
and dream as big as possible and be as creative as possible. Um,
Right.
one of my questions in that process of just even writing the book for you, how was that process? Did you have to everyone has a different process in creativity, whether I know you
Right.
also do shows and direct and you have amazing healing retreats. So how is the process for you? Because some of these creatives, they might need to have a roadmap, and us, we help that.
Yeah. Okay. The so I tried the roadmap, right?
Mhm.
And the roadmap felt inauthentic for me. So I think when it comes to creating something, whether it be a book or idea, yeah, there's certain things that you could use to tools, but just do it how you want to do it, how your brain thinks. Like if you look through my book, it's very, I don't know if my book's in here, but it's very different. You know what I'm saying? Like there's big words that pop out at random. There's, you know, big letters that just pop out at random for no reason other than I don't want to be bored while I'm writing. So I would make because super huge and then, you know, finish writing my paragraph, or a big B or a big A just at random, because that was my way of writing. Or either I would talk and I would write how I was talking. So I'm like, what? You know, and so I would spell like, what? And people would be like, oh, you misspelled. No, I didn't. I wrote like how I was talking. My book was a conversation. So the one thing I would say to people is to write for you, not for others, because when you start writing for others, it becomes inauthentic to you. And then some people will stop liking what they're creating because they're not creating from them. They're creating because of what they're creating from a space of what other people are expecting of them. And so I think it's better for you to do what you want to do for yourself so that you will love the work that you're creating. And I think that there's an audience for everybody that, you know, creates a body of work that's authentic to themselves. You do the same thing. You know, when I first met you, you were producing, you weren't rapping. You know what I'm saying?
True. Yeah.
And then you said something about rapping to me. And I was like, let me hear you. I was like, oh shit, she's rapping. And then it was so good.
Yeah.
Right. But it was different. It was authentic to you. If I would have said, oh, you should do it like this and you should do it like that. No, I put you with the weirdest person I knew that was great. You know, that was
funny.
into that. Right.
Yeah.
And so if you didn't get a chance to be authentically yourself and someone tried to create you into something else, it wouldn't feel as good.
Yeah. It's,
You know?
I've been through that path of like, and that's the thing is when you're kind of as a creative, you're creating and you're creating just like you said for you, and it comes from your source. And then when it doesn't feel authentic, it's just like, yeah, I don't know if I want to. It's kind of like someone giving you like a food that's not your, like, that's
Right.
not your fruit of choice. Like, oh, I don't like blueberries. Don't give me the blueberries. Like, no,
Right.
you know. So it's like it just, like you said, it's authenticity and creative and tapping into your creative self. What are
Yeah, I
some
say
ways?
start. Go
Yeah.
ahead.
What are some of your ways? You just said go and start. Like, I mean, how
Yeah,
do
I
you
think you
tap
just need
into
to
flow?
start anywhere.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Some of the ways that I do it is I put on headphones with music without words while I'm writing. It's not like I can just do it with just regular hearing music out loud, but I literally have to cover up my ears with music and then I can just take off writing. So that could be one way for somebody. I don't know.
Yeah.
Some people need to go away in nature. Like when I wrote my first book, I took a trip to Costa Rica, and I wrote my book in Costa Rica, where I was away from everybody and everything, you know, so that I
Yeah.
could just hear. I didn't know what I was going to write. I just opened up my computer and I would just start writing, you know, because that was my intention. So I also think, yes, setting the attention, the time and space that you're going to do something. So if it's like at 10 o'clock, I'm waking up in the morning and my intention is to write, then
Yeah.
it'll come to you, you know, because that's the intention that you're setting.
Wow. That's some powerful stuff. Like even just the headphone, I feel like that's like a trick that someone, I would even say I kind of do that too when I was editing photos, right? I would just listen to music maybe with no words too. I'd listen to Dead Mouse or some EDM of just like getting in my own like head of like, okay, I'm gonna edit these things viciously, right? So I feel like you kind of just have to get into that sense of flow. Um, and I'm wondering, what are some of the ways that you get into flow? Like, do you meditate? Do you, you know, ground yourself? Do you walk in nature? Like, what are some of the things that you do to help kind of get those creative juices going?
Hold 1 second.
Okay, no worries.
Okay. sorry about that. The way that I get my creative juices flowing and going, like you're saying, do I do meditation or something like that? It depends on the project that I'm working on. So sometimes I need to amp myself up, I need to calm myself down. So like if I'm doing, let's say, if I'm getting ready for a retreat and I need to come up with some ideas for a healing retreat, right? I'll go into meditation, I'll get my tea, I'll burn my incense, I will, do psychedelic therapy, or, I might even do, let's say, microdosing on myself. I might, blindfold myself. I may, whatever, just to get into a very centered spiritual headspace.
I've never heard of this microdosing. I'm kind of curious a little bit more on that. Like, so you blindfold yourself, and is it kind of a sensory?
Microdosing is a psychedelic substance, but it doesn't cause the psychedelic effect when you take it, when you microdose. So there's no parts to it.
Oh, okay.
It's just spiritual downloads that you start to get. And it helps you to focus in internally. So we'll talk more about that, but that's like, cause I'm a psychedelic therapist. So like those things are really, really good.
That's a new title that I mean, you're author, producer, now psychedelic therapist. You just always are doing amazing things, Phoenix. Wow.
Thank you. So cool. So I'll do that for healing stuff. If I need to get into a recording mode or music or dance, I will turn on dance music.
Also, like we're a showrunner and kind of helped create a show. How did that kind of start for you in that creative process?
Which show? Wait, which show?
There was the show on WeTV, and I know that you've done work at HBO and
okay, so that was cool. I love being a producer and a director. I love creating content and, working with other talented people. How that started was I was on a show on WeTV. So I had my own photography studio. I could film, edit. I had my own equipment already. And I had already started filming and doing my own things. And then I ended up on a TV show as talent. And while I was there, I met Andrew Glassman. And we were just, on set filming every day. It was like a 30-day thing. He would ask me, he's like, why are you here? What do you really want to do? You don't really fit this. And I said, I don't know why I'm here, but really I was there to meet him. But I didn't know that, at the time. And he was like, what is it that you really want to do? I was like, I want to produce big shows. I don't want to just do YouTube or whatever. Like, I want to make big shows. I want to be a director and producer for big things. He's like, okay, well, when you leave the show, bring me what you got. And I was like, okay, whatever. Come to find out, he worked like 5 minutes from my house, the office.
Oh, wow.
And I went over there, I sent him a message and he said, sure, let's come in, let's have a meeting. And he's the owner of this production company. And so I go and I show him all of my stuff. And then I got a call, I want to say 2 weeks later. And they were like, are you available to go out of town for a month or two in 2 days? And so I just shut down my studio and I left. Wow. And I went to go shoot for country music television. That was the show they were doing. Yeah. And that's how I started. And then it was HBO, and then it was WeTV and NBC, and it was VH1, and it just kept going from there.
And for maybe some aspiring producers that are tuning in and listening, what is some advice that you have for them on getting creative and getting their name or getting themselves out there for these opportunities?
Create and be prepared for the opportunity to arise. So like, had I not showed up to his office with just my simple basic stuff that I didn't think was going to be all that great to him, he loved it. So I always tell people, like, you may not be in the situation that you want to be in. You may not have the camera that you want to have, or the tools, but if you have a phone, you have a camera.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Create on your phone, edit on your phone, take pictures and use all these apps and editing apps on your phone. I've taken some dope stuff with my phone,
Yeah.
create content so that when someone asks you what you have, people can see talent. And all you need is big equipment. They know the difference.
Yeah.
You know? And so, and I remember when I got there and I was in a meeting and he said, I want everybody to film like Phoenix. And I was so confused. I was like, huh?
Yeah.
You know, I was like, these people have filmed with like every network, but he liked my style.
Yeah.
He was just like, I don't want you to learn the rule book. I want you to just do you, your way, the way you create. And that was so liberating for me because I got to freely create, you know, the way that I like to.
Wow. Yeah. No, I
I'll
agree.
forever be thankful to him for that.
Yeah, because that
Yeah.
like I think that's the thing is especially in leadership positions at the networks and studios and these production companies, um especially with creatives, you kind of just have to set them free. They're going to do their thing and always
Yeah.
deliver. And I think sometimes in those higher up positions they want to, control as much as possible, but that's kind of when you lose that creative sauce, I guess.
Right.
Um
When you start trying to be and do what everyone else does, it's no longer creative. It's just a copy of someone else's stuff.
yeah.
You know, and I think like we were talking about earlier, that authenticity is so important. Like people want that fresh eye, and that fresh energy, and that different style, and that different sound. You know, it's so
Yeah.
refreshing when I see people who do that. It's so
No, I
refreshing. And
agree.
those are the ones that are memorable. Otherwise, you just sound like, write like, you know, produce like, film like everybody else.
Yeah.
What makes you different? You just being you is what makes you different.
Hmm.
You know what I mean?
Hmm. I definitely feel creatives also then tap into maybe inspirations and stuff. Can you speak maybe on that, like how to tap into some inspirations, but also still be genuinely, authentically yourself?
Of course, everything is inspiration. Everybody I see that's doing something great, that's in the lane that I'm in, that I love, it's inspiring me to do my own shit, my own way, and maybe look at what you've done and be like, dang, how can I do that my own way?
Mm-hmm.
You know, because there's a fine line between imitation and
Mm-hmm.
inspiration,
Mm-hmm.
right? Some
Yeah.
people who just straight up copy,
Mm-hmm.
or some people who just like, this picture inspired me. So I'm going to take this picture and I'm going to use this inspiration for my retreat, but I'm going to switch it up and make it into my own thing,
Mm-hmm.
you know, but this
Yeah.
inspires me. And
Yeah.
so that's how you do it.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. And I know that like now your next step has been you have this healing retreat and this program,
Yeah.
and now people come to see you, and you're all the way, you're in Mexico, correct? And don't didn't you start a whole facility, a healing facility, from the
Out
ground
here.
up?
Yeah, I was no, not from the ground up here.
Okay.
I'm a co-owner
Oh
of a
wow.
healing center here, but I'm
Okay.
also opening my own.
Wow.
It's called the Sacred Celestial,
Hmm.
where we do retreats, we do events, we do trainings, we do everything you could think of with
Hmm.
this Sacred Celestial. We also do psychedelic therapy,
Hmm.
group therapy, and we just, you know, we actually do it in America too.
Hmm.
So we roam around. We do some stuff here and some stuff in America.
Very cool.
So
Yeah. And how do you correlate healing, like the healing process, in correlation to creativity? Because I know there's several poets, writers, actors, painters that kind of channel some of their pain, but they transform it into beautiful art. Can you speak on, that process, and maybe in your healing retreats, stuff that tools you use?
turning their pain
Yeah.
into creativity.
Hmm.
I think most people do that. I
Right?
think
Yeah.
most people use their creativity as therapy.
Hmm.
You know, their songs and their lyrics. Like, how many songs do you hear that are about so much pain and turmoil? You know, some people use their creativity to express joy that they never got to express, to explore and expand, you know, without having limits. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that creativity is healing. is healing in
Yeah.
itself. I think when you're at your lowest point, anybody, if you just start creating something that you love, you won't stay that low very long.
Yeah.
Every single person I've known that just starts doing something they love in the midst of being depressed or sad or down or whatever it is, they tend to rise up out of it because they start doing something creative that they actually love to do.
Wow, that's a gem right there because I definitely feel that's a lot of truth to
Yeah.
that because especially during these times, it's been kind of, I know for myself, I've been on an emotional roller coaster, and I think everyone has
Yeah.
since 2020. And definitely when you do something you love, it boosts your energy and everything
Yeah.
about it. And I think that's what's so beautiful about creativity is you can kind of transform these parts that might not look so pretty into something beautiful. And you never know who it then can inspire too. Maybe,
Yeah.
maybe,
Somebody needs what you have to offer, right?
yeah.
And it could be just even relating to me in my lowest points,
Mm-hmm.
right? Just understanding me, just for somebody to understand what I'm going through. And if a
Yeah.
song comes on the radio and it just tells my story for me,
Yeah.
I can feel it, I'm just like into it, you know what I'm saying? Or like,
Yeah.
uh, if something comes that lifts you out of where you were, if you paint something and it's like, wow, I don't know how I just painted that, or wow, I don't know how I just came up with that idea. That idea is not only going to help me, it's going to help everybody.
Yeah.
It's just, it's a relatable thing. It's something that, like, there's something you need. I mean, there's something that you have
Mm-hmm.
that somebody else needs.
Very
And
true.
those things often inspire us the most, when we can be a blessing to somebody else or to inspire somebody else. I think
Yeah.
that's super
And
cool.
talking about inspiration, I know for me, you definitely inspire me because I was reading an article about you and it said you're a mompreneur. And I was like, what? I never even heard this mompreneur thing. And I was like, wow. And Phoenix, you now have also an additional little one. So how do you balance? I guess the thing is there's moms who want to be just as creative as you. Is there
You're
any
right.
advice for those moms that you can give them of like, hey, block out your creative time. I don't know. What is the advice you have for some of these mompreneurs that are just like you?
I used to say balance, right? But I really think that's some bullshit at this point.
Yeah.
Because when you have children, all you can do is the best you can with the time you have,
Hmm.
right?
Yeah.
At some point, you might not be as available. You know
Hmm.
what I mean? At some point, you are. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? It just doing the best you can with what you have, with the time that you have when you have it.
Hmm.
So, however you can fit in what you need to fit in for yourself, creating some boundaries,
Yeah.
understanding when you need to take a break before you break, understanding when you need to. I really think, honestly, and me and my partner were talking about this,
Hmm.
parents need to take time off from being parents.
Mm. Yeah.
Literally, they need to take a week or so, a week or two, and go somewhere, swap off, where literally I'm not a wife, I'm not a parent, I'm
Yeah.
not doing the bills, I'm not responsible for the house. I can just go off and just work on my own shit uninterrupted.
Yeah.
I think that is so good for your mental health, for both partners. You know what I mean? For the kids, for
Yeah.
everybody. Come back refreshed and you feel like you got a piece of yourself to yourself.
Hmm.
You got to just be completely 100% devoted to yourself and
Yeah.
your dreams, your ideas, without splitting your attention in so many different directions. Because as a mom,
Hmm.
my brain is like having 100 tabs open, right? Of,
Yeah, I
of
can
the never
imagine.
ending to-do list. You
Hmm.
know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
But finding time in between to just do the things I need to do between my work and my purpose, and as a mother, and the things I need to take care of and stuff I want to create, and making sure I have time as a partner, and like dinner and clothes and like all this stuff. It's like you got to find ways to offset.
Yeah. So it's
You
kind
know
of
what
that
I'm
you
saying?
time. You gotta find that you time. It's like a you retreat just for you. Yeah.
Yeah. It's just a
Wow.
you thing. And I know it might sound bad to others, but it sounds glorious to me. It's like I get
Yeah.
2 weeks off where I literally don't have to like worry about the kids. I don't have to worry about the house. And everybody may not have that luxury or a partner that will do that. But
Yeah.
even if you can get a babysitter, you
Hmm.
know, to
Yeah.
give you 5 or 6 hours, that's the only reason why I'm able to do this interview right now.
Yeah.
Is because, I have someone who I trust who is entertained. I call it a baby engager. So I don't have a babysitter, but a baby engager because he needs to be engaged the whole
Yeah.
time.
Yeah.
He doesn't watch TV. He doesn't play video
Wow.
games.
Yeah.
You are literally talking and interacting with my child all day. And so
Wow. Yeah.
yeah, so he
That's
has
a lot of
somebody who,
energy. That's a lot of energy with the little
they're
one.
young though, so they keep up with them.
Oh,
But
okay.
like that also gives me more time so that when he comes home, all my time goes to him.
Mm,
And
yeah.
he's not like he's gone. He's not at a daycare center. He's literally running around outside somewhere with her, for the last couple of hours.
Yeah.
And so, but when he gets in, I'm like, Genesis, like
Yeah.
I have had enough time to recalibrate my brain to be able to just, now it's your time after 6. You know what
Mm,
I mean?
yeah.
It's only me and you after 6. There is no more interruptions until you fall asleep.
Wow.
And so,
Yeah.
but it gives me the space to be able to do that. So now I'm more present for him instead of, moms who are so tired and overworked and like don't have no breaks. And then when the kids are around, they don't really have much patience for them because they're already overwhelmed. They're at capacity. They don't have anything left.
Yeah.
So it's finding ways where you can offset some things. If you can afford to get somebody to even do the laundry takes forever when you have kids. It's
Yeah.
never ending. So like just
Yeah.
paying somebody just to come over once a week or to send your clothes out once, in
Mhm.
Mexico it's a little different. They come get your clothes and drop it off
Oh, wow.
for like $30. So it's not,
Fancy.
but it's like $30. It's
Yeah.
not expensive at all. So it's
Mhm.
like, why not take advantage of that service if it's only 30
I,
bucks?
I
It doesn't.
agree. Phoenix, like, I'd be over there in a heartbeat if I could get rid of the laundry situation. But yeah, wow.
Telling you, they come pick it up, we put it in the bags and they bring it back the next day and it's
Wow.
already folded and everything. And so that has helped out with a lot of time. Otherwise I'll be washing clothes for hours.
Yeah.
Like 2 kids,
Hmm.
4 of us, and I'll be washing clothes for forever.
Yeah.
And so
Well,
that was one of my pet peeves. So I get rid of triggers. I get rid of little things that exhaust me.
hmm.
It's the little tiny things that exhaust me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Or
I
like
see
if
that.
it's, even dinner, right? If I used to cook dinner every single day, but if I'm tired, somebody else in the house cooks dinner. Shamir cooks
Yeah.
dinner or Martin cooks dinner. So like we switch out on who cooks dinner.
Hmm.
We switch
Yeah.
out on who washes the dishes. It just depends on what's going on in the house so that no one person is just doing everything. So
Yeah.
people gotta learn how to offset and, designate things to other people.
Yeah.
But there's a way.
I think like it's definitely like a shared, having shared roles and communicating.
Yeah.
And I think like that's the key thing. It seems like you're in a great environment where you guys communicate perfectly on the things like, and just like you said, certain things that trigger you. You're like, mm-mm, sending the laundry out. and and that's like I think an essential thing to staying in your flow, right? And
Yeah.
that this limitless is all about creativity and staying in that creative realm. Is there any last things you'd like to give as inspiration or words to help others tap into their limitlessness and themselves and in this whole you retreat,
Um, I think the best advice I can say is it's very hard to create when you're scattered. It's
Mm,
very hard to create when you're unclear.
yeah.
So I say get to a place where you're grounded, and sometimes that requires separation. So that means to set your phone down, taking a walk, taking a bath, just watching a movie on your computer, like just detaching from your environment sometimes to just let your brain breathe and not trying so hard to be or do anything. I think when you just try so hard, it deactivates creativity. It deactivates authenticity. And so I've started to tap into this just being. And then when the creative ideas start flowing, then I'm in it. You know what I'm saying? I grab onto it. It's like, okay, cool. But you want to create from that clear space, you know, not the cloudy space.
Yeah.
And not the trying so hard space. It's just create from love.
Yeah.
Instead of lack.
That's beautiful. I love that. Create from love. And I guess the biggest takeaway from today and Phoenix is, just add more love and give love, share love. And it's all about love because it's limitless. And that helps with your source of creativity. So thanks guys so much for being on the podcast with me. I so
Of
appreciate you.
course.
And
I
I'm
love
so
you
glad.
so much.
Same. I'm so glad we could inspire a bunch of amazing folks who are doing some great creative work. So thank you so much and tune in
You're
for the next.
welcome.
And today's was dedicated to an amazing author. His name is Sir Ken Robinson, and he has a book about creativity. And I highly suggest it. The book, let me get the book's name. If you're not tapping into, you definitely have to tap into Redefining Strong, which is Phoenix's book. And also get Ken's book, which is Out of Our Minds, The Power of Being Creative. So I guess we're limitless when we're out of our minds and we're just tapping into creativity and love. So thank you for joining, and we will have another amazing episode soon. Thanks, Phoenix.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.